Welcome to Every Last Record, ELR. Thank you all for joining us. We are a collective building community around music appreciation, having a larger conversation about music and its context in society. We out here using critical thinking, right? And we out here being ourselves, right? So without further ado, I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Marcus. I am the resident therapist in training, right? I'm gonna pass it off to Mike. Excuse me, not Mike. Mike, oh my God. No, not Mike. That's gonna stick.
Wow.
I'll pass it off to Matthias.
I'm Mike. What's going on, guys? I go by Mike, Matt, whichever you prefer. Zeus. What's going on, y'all? I'm Matt, aka Zeus. I'm an artist and I love music.
All right, that brings it to me. My name is Paris. I am into men's fashion content creator, marketing and communications manager, and most above all, everything, I love to talk about music with my homies, and that's why I'm here.
An overall fly guy.
Oh, thank you so much.
Fly guy. Yes, sir.
Facts.
Fly guy. I mean, Paris over here, he makes me self-conscious about the way I dress, so I've been looking on eBay and Depop for good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm Leo. I'm not as creative as everyone else here, but I am an avid concert goer. I used to work on the community lists for the end of the year albums for Genius, and Marcus has wrote me back into listening to new music. I lost it for a bit, but he brought me back in.
My name is Flo. I am a lover of music in forms of listening and creating.
So just to kind of keep us on like the focus, right? What we try to do, right, is we try to focus on artist intentions, execution of theme, proper use of musical elements, and everything in between, right? So just to open us up, the icebreaker is, what is a food from your culture that holds significant value to you and why?
I'll kick us off. There's a special type of like spicy. It's not essentially a sauce. It's more of like a cream in Peru que se llama un huancaína. It's served in the dish papa la huancaína. It's served as like an appetizer a lot of time. It's made. Well, I can't give the recipe, but it's made with the ají amarillo, which translates to yellow pepper from Peru, along with queso fresco and eggs as well.
Write that down.
And it's a really spicy, depending on how you make it, it's like really spicy. But the reason why it holds so much significance is because every family reunion that we have, even until now, we always make it and it's always like a hit. But when you go to a Peruvian restaurant, it does not taste good. Like everything else, the chapa, the ceviche, the pollo a la brasa, every other Peruvian dish will be banging at the restaurant. But this specific huancaína, it's not good. Like people still like it. Like I go with non-Peruvians and they taste it, they're like, oh yeah, this is great. And I literally refuse to taste it because I'm like, this is an affront to gods. This is an affront to the Incas.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because they try to make it in large batches, or maybe they've kind of like lost touch with like what it's supposed to taste like. But the way you actually make it, like the recipe, it only lasts for like a day and a half, 2 days. Then you're pushing it because you're using a lot of dairy. You're also using milk in there too. So, but the point is, I've recently come to make it in the past year, and I've been traveling around seeing a lot of family, and I have my cousins here in Chicago. And I've been making it for them for like the first time when I moved here. And they were like, I have no idea how a Peruvian not born in Peru has gotten the recipe down to like the exact, flavor. And so it holds a lot of significance for me because it's one of those things where it's like it's one of those, it's not a huge dish, but it's one of those things that it's hard to make, and to really make it shows that you're proud of like your cuisine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just glad I knocked it out the park. A little self pat on the back for me.
That's incredible.
Dope.
Of course. Anybody else want to chime in?
I have two that come to mind. It's a Puerto Rican dish. Well, both of them are. It's called patelón, and it's kind of like the easiest way to explain it is like a Puerto Rican lasagna. Where
Okay.
you use plátanos, you use ground beef, and all of this stuff, and it's kind of layered
Yeah.
in a way that it's kind of similar to lasagna.
Yeah.
But and you get like that salty and sweet taste to it. Fire. And mofongo. I love mofongo. It's just another plátano-based meal, but fire.
That shit sound heavy as hell.
They both are. Yeah, they both put you to sleep, but fire.
Or in the toilet.
Yo. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, some mofongo, like in the morning or something like that, you can eat like any part of the
Yeah.
day, pretty much. Just like breakfast mofongo, there's like for lunch, for dinner, it's just beautiful, bro.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Put some nice sauce on it, man. Well, Adam took like one of mine, so I'm just gonna say
You don't like no other food?
nah, man.
Nah, we got the same favorites.
That's a fact.
Nah, honestly, I'm gonna just go with what we're drinking right now, bro. Like coquito, bro. It's like a Puerto Rican like household staple around the holiday times. Like I love it. It just reminds me of like home. I don't got a lot of like dishes I bring from home, or like I don't really get to try a lot of like my mom's cooking or like my family's cooking. I'm somebody that just meal preps a bunch of like chicken and steak and salmon and stuff all the damn times I work out. So I get to be super fun or home cooked and everything like that. But like coquito reminds me of like just like growing up, being around my family and stuff like that. And it just reminds me of the holidays and like just good times. And every time around like December, November, I just be buying it all up from everybody, bro. Like give me all that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll go. So I got two. One for obviously like my black culture, and the other I'm actually gonna be borrowing for Puerto Rican and I believe Dominican culture as well. But the first one is collard greens. I feel like soul food staple, right? So that reminds me of just being around my grandmother, who was an A1 cook. Also, my stepmom, she knew how to cook that very well too. It's just a dish that like was one of the first like real soul food plates that I loved as a kid. And, it's kind of weird because I grew up liking vegetables and greens and stuff. Like a lot of kids like didn't like that. But with me, I would just look forward to eating collard greens all the time. And then the second one is pernil. Like I love, and this comes from like my girlfriend's family. My mother-in-law, she makes a great pernil. And you get the skin that's. I'm gonna go crazy with this, but I'm looking at Adam crazy right now. But the skin is just so tasteful, and it's one of my favorite dishes that I love during Christmas time, and of course Thanksgiving. And then randomly, people will be blessed to have it on like a random dinner on like a time we're visiting on the weekend. So, and also Atlanta makes a good one too. So shout out to her. But yeah, pernil and collard greens are my two dishes that I love and I hold close to my heart.
Yeah, bro. Shout out to my sister, bro. It makes the best pernil I ever had in my life.
Nah, that's a delicacy right there. I mean, like I got Muslim people in my family, so like they not really like big into the swine. So I really talk to them about that like that. But yeah, I got to keep that under wraps. I'll add on to that, right? So like collard greens is like very very big. Weirdly enough, and also quick question, like we talking about like organic collard greens, like you buy.
Yes, you gotta buy them and then you boil them. Like it's like it's not anything frozen or anything like that.
Yeah.
You buy it, you chop it up, and then you put it in the pot, and you put a bunch of other stuff in there. You throw a ham in there and all that, and that's
turkey leg.
Yeah,
I feel you on that way. Yo, don't tell nobody this. Well, I mean, we on a podcast, so don't.
No one will ever find out.
So I grew up in like essentially a single parent household. So like collard greens was the thing.
yeah.
But it was in the can. It was in the can.
What's wrong with that,
It was in the can, you know.
Damn.
Listen,
So,
it's okay,
it is what it
bro.
is.
I ate
Yeah.
it from the can a couple times too, bro.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So every new year, like my mother like would call me and be like, "Yo, make sure you put like I don't know where she got this from. Like it's like a tradition. Like you put like collard greens on the stove and like it's supposed to bring you good luck. She probably just made that shit up, but if she believes it, like that shit's probably true. So that's really all that matters. It's that and like black eyed peas, which is kind of interesting.
Black eyed peas, yes.
I really want to look up the origin of black eyed peas, but
Start a Will.I.am, right?
or my grandmother. Nah. But nah, like it's been a tradition that's passed down from like from my grandmother to my mom to me. So it's like, it's one of the things that is like everlasting, especially when you talk about like family trauma.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that has been consistent like for a while. We laughing at family trauma.
No,
right?
no, I'm sorry.
Laughing at family trauma is wild.
I'm sorry. I started thinking of Fergie's national anthem when y'all said Black Eyed Peas. And that's, my fault.
Nah, you good, you good.
I'm not laughing at family trauma. It was just crazy timing.
All right, yeah. Thank y'all for participating in that. So, just some context about Michelinman by Blvck Sam. Released November 11th, 2024. So 1 year anniversary at the beginning of November. Just some album spotlights, right? So funny enough, Blvck Sam, like he had his first real dining experience maybe back in 2023, right? So he's never really had any experience in the kitchen, anything like that. Rather, he was just inspired to create this album by just attending a fine dining experience, right? And throughout that experience, he ended up just like being moved by the detail, the curation, right, of flavors, and obviously like just the courses throughout the time. So his first tasting menu dinner was in 2023. Leo, you would probably love this. It was in Chicago. I can't remember I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's the Atelier. Probably not the right pronunciation, but fine dining restaurant in Chicago. The head chef at the time was Christian Hunter, who is the first black chef in 2023 to get a Michelin star, right? So that's huge. And then afterwards, he began just developing his following, like after maybe a few hit songs. And he did his own version of like the block videos. You know the videos when they hang the mic? Like
Yes.
he did that
Yes.
he started to do that in restaurants, and that's how he generated his following.
Nice.
Right. So just how that whole kind of like album kind of came about was after he had that experience, he like literally started to like write down and reflect in a journal. It was like, yo, I got to create an album based off of this experience. Reached out to about 200 to 300 chefs that had under 25,000 followers. So not only are you making music, but you're also putting on restaurants, right, that need a following, that need traffic. And mind you, like this is all during COVID, right? So if you guys have ever seen The Bear, right, you know that like obviously it's fictional, but it's based off of like obviously a lot of the things that were happening in the restaurant industry during COVID. Yep. So he's stepping into this role to not only drive business into these restaurants, but it's during a time where people aren't going to restaurants anymore because they can't, right? So that's literally the whole album spotlight. The title of the album comes from, are you guys familiar with the Michelin Guide?
Yes.
Got you. It's a really like weird story. So the Michelin Guide was created in France like early 1900s by people who make tires, right? So restaurants and tires, like what's the connection? So in an effort to get people to travel more, they created this list of pit stops, right? And later on, they started to add restaurants, and they gave critical acclaim to restaurants, right, within their Michelin Guide, which ultimately turned into establishing Michelin star restaurants. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's.
Do you know what each star stands for?
No, I don't actually.
So the guide, the starring system. Now it's not so much, but how it originally was conceived, and I don't know the story beat for beat, was 1 star means if you're on a trip and it's on the way to your location, you should stop there.
Wow.
2 stars is if you're driving and it takes you out of the way, you should stop there. Wow. So like instead of it being like right on, I-80 or wherever the hell, you should take the time, if it's not too far, to stop at that restaurant and go to your destination. And 3 is you should make a trip to go to the restaurant. So that's kind of the idea where that Michelin Guide came from, because that connection from Michelin tires is like, hey, we want to make a guide of like what's worth using your tires on, essentially. And so that's where the classification really comes from, like the idea of like, hey, these are the places you should go if they're on the way, if they're out of the way, or you should make a trip out of it.
Facts. There's some people out there that I'm not willing to make a trip to see. So that's
Hey,
that's a tough rating system. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
no problem.
That's dope.
Of course, of course.
Did not know.
And just a little information about the artist. So Ben Glover, aka Blvck Sam. Anybody want to take a guess like where that name comes from?
Wait, his name Blvck Sam?
Yeah. Matt, I expect you to get this.
I generally can't, but maybe I'll be tight.
When I tell you, like you're gonna be like, oh shit, yeah. But any event, right? So Blvck Sam comes from Black Samurai.
Oh, sick. I'm not sure about Black Samurai. That's tough.
Yeah, the first Black Samurai. Well, the only Black Samurai. I don't know if it's the only, but it's the first Black Samurai that's recorded in
Oh,
history.
Yasuke?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Yasuke.
legit. Blvck Sam. Yeah, that's literally what it's inspired by.
Oh,
Right. Yeah. It's
Sick origin for a name.
and it's also kind of hilarious because like his producer on a majority of the project is also like Asian. I can't remember.
Japanese.
He's Japanese.
That's what's his name? Mikey or something like that.
Mike Summers and Max He and Mike Summers. Yeah.
Max He.
So so Blvck Sam is a Chicago-based hip hop artist, originally from South Florida. Started making music in high school, then moved to Chicago. And again, like I'm a higher education person, so I love to hear stories about how people are coming from low-income neighborhoods and taking the opportunities to go to college. So he actually went to Chicago, University of Chicago, by way of like the Quest Bridge program for high-achieving low-income students. Who wish to enroll in top colleges, right? So he continued making music in college, right? It's probably one of the best places if you have a talent to kind of showcase that talent, right? Because you literally just have fans, like people who are waiting to be fans of you because they see you in class and they see you around. It's probably one of the best spaces to kind of curate like your base. And he developed as an artist on campus, at open mics and other events around campus. Utilized the recording studio at the school to craft music. So I know you got like when we went to Iona, like I know you guys used the whatchamacallit, the studio. So imagine just like that being your start, right? And there's also like a ton of other people, right? Like Noah, you familiar with Joe K, right? Joe K, he made like Soul Lecture.
Yeah,
If you're familiar with Soul Lecture, like so he started like doing that as a college radio show.
Yes.
Right. So it like again, it's just, these are like just really cool spaces to kind of curate your stuff. Started out making up-tempo trap music, but later transitioned to more of a intimate kind of like buttery smooth type of style, which you can hear in the music now. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, began to take music seriously after losing his job during COVID, and then ended up gaining some popularity after dropping tracks like Bleach and Hayago.
What was his job?
I can't recall. I think he said like working at like Amazon or something like that. It was just like a regular dead-end job. Yeah. And then I think the interesting thing is like I checked Metacritic and they gave this like a 79 out of 100.
Yeah, so
like, which is like really
That's solid.
and that's just like it's user ratings. Like again, like he's like a glowing, like he's a growing artist.
He's like underground, yeah.
Yeah, so like for you to have a 79 out of 100 off of 77 ratings, like that's actually like pretty cool. All right. So in the spirit of an album that is based off of food, right? I have an activity. All right.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You about all coast?
Let's do it.
So the activity
Here we go.
is when you think about food, food is probably one of the most prominent slangs in hip hop, right? Or has influenced hip hop slang, right? Can you name some references, right, that have coincided with food
Food by MF Doom.
in songs? Food by MF Doom, okay, one beer, like
Yeah. Because food, and also food is an anagram for MF Doom.
that's tough.
Gotta eat. Lupe Fiasco.
Gotta eat, and I'm also like talking about just like terms, right? It doesn't have to be songs; it can just be in the language, right? Like I mean, the most prominent one is beef.
Cheddar. Bread.
Cash rules everything around me.
Cream.
Get the money, like that's one right there.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken.
Yeah, Luda
I got
had chicken and beer. Luda had a chicken and beer album.
Yeah, when you say you're cooking,
You said Lupe, Food and Liquor.
Food or liquor.
Lupe Fiasco presents Food and Liquor.
The Great American Rap Album.
So we got.
Actually, talking about collard greens earlier, we got Schoolboy Q as well, right?
That's a
He's
fact.
got a-
Yeah, that's all about collard greens. That's tough.
Yes, sir.
Broccoli, lemonade,
Yeah.
right?
Sugar, I'm assuming that's probably one of them.
Yeah.
Watermelon sugar.
Watermelon.
That's not hip hop, but that's Harry
I mean,
Styles.
melon, like melon is kind of like the term. Like I mean, it's battle rap stuff, right? Melon noodle, like like stuff like that.
Crack your egg.
So I think I had a couple of others though, like right bananas, like come on,
Like BANANAS.
Thank you for the pop. Come on, yeah, here we go. Dough, all of that stuff. So like
I don't know how we missed that one.
So I just think it's like it's pretty interesting that like there's always been a connection between food and hip hop culture, right? So yeah, and also like if you just want to even talking about like because I watched a couple interviews and he was actually really intentional about making this album to like discuss value. Right, so if you talk about like a traditional economy when you are trading chicken, sheep, livestock, so on and so forth, right? Like who is creating this value, right? If I go to a restaurant, like why am I paying X amount of money for a certain amount of stuff, and who's creating this stuff, right? And even like doing some research, like I found out that there was like a beef marble score, right? Where you determine the level of marble in the beef, like and it has a score and it determines its value. Right, like that's like how are we doing this? Who's coming up with this? Right, so you could do that with clothes, right? You could do that with music. You could do that with food, right? Anything that we consider of value. Like I think it's always interesting to kind of question, like, all right, how is that? Like, why am I paying, or like, what am I doing this for, or what am I being charged for, or the value of anything? All right, that was the little activity, right? So we could dive right into first impressions, right? So if anybody wants to,
Yeah, I'd say I'll start. So first time I was listening to this, I actually took your orders. Marcus told us to listen to it while you're cooking. And to his credit, this is actually one of the best albums to cook to. I made a nice like chicken and pasta dish, and I think it was one of my best. So shout out to this album. Yeah, it really just felt like you're in like one of those like dim lighted, like fancy restaurants. Like you're the chef in there, and that was the first impression I got of it. To me, Blvck Sam off the rip of like the first impression kind of has like a mix of Rock Marciano, Boldy James, and I'll give a little dash, and I'm speaking metaphorically. And cohesion with the theme of a dash of Lucky, the Lucky rapper Lucky, because he has like that low monotone like drawl to him that reminded me of Lucky. So,
who's the artist that I can't remember the artist that Pusha was trying to like imitate on Let God Sort Him Out.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. It's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me.
It'll pop up. It'll pop up again.
Because he did that on POV.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's gonna. Yeah. We're gonna remember.
And it was the verse that he said that he hated.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted it off too.
Yeah.
But damn. But those are the guys like Rock Marciano specifically. This is like a Rock Marciano type of album. And I feel like he's kind of like the pioneer of this genre of like the neo like mafioso style of rap, the like melodic rap set, like Griselda, Boldy, all these guys kind of like that template that everybody follows. So it kind of sounds like this. He kind of got like the playbook of Rock Marciano here. So that was the both of that, like the production and like just him in general. That's the first impression I got of the album.
That's what's up. I'll go back to like inspirations like when we get to like later on in the agenda. But yeah, anybody else?
Yeah, I'll let the listeners know exactly my first thoughts. I had to scroll back in our iMessage chat, because I was actually because I don't have a car here, so when I go to stores and stuff, I have to get on public transit and everything.
Wow.
So I was traveling about 40 minutes public transportation to get a nice like center cut filet to make a beef Wellington.
Wow.
And it was raining. I had my windbreaker on, and so that's when I texted you guys. I was like, this production makes me feel like I'm a detective working a decade-long cold case about the murder of my partner. I have to light up a Vogue and have a pie at a diner. I was reading the New York Times. but that's how it felt. He has a very like smooth voice. It's very like a departure of, what we would consider like mainstream right now. I feel like, and I think what Paris just said, like neo mafioso rap, like I think that's the perfect way to describe it in almost like a genre. I appreciated all the food references, but I also appreciated all the sports references too, because
a man of my heart.
Largent, but he also shouts out Mike Allstott, who, as him being a Florida kid, Mike Allstott is like tough. A perfect pull, because like I'm assuming this guy's like 30 some, like maybe mid 30s,
28,
like 28, which means he was super young when Mike Allstott was still in the league. And he was that guy at fullback for the Buccaneers. So, when I heard that little cut, because when I first listen to these albums, I don't really like read the album, the song titles. I just put it on, and it was raining, so I didn't have my phone out anyway. So when I first heard that song, I was like, "Oh, this shit is nice." And then it cuts to the NFL like interlude. I was like, "Oh yeah, Mike Allstott was that guy back in the day." So. So yeah, I mean, I love the album, but we'll get more into it later.
No, of course. I mean, we get into it now. Like, to be honest, like the sports references, he's pulling from like a very niche kind. Like, you really got to be a sports fan. Like,
he threw some names out. Ellie De La Cruz, who's a popular baseball player for those who follow baseball. So there were some other names that caught my ear too.
Anthony Morrow.
Anthony Morrow. Yeah, like that's a deep cut in the basketball world.
I love how he does like deep cuts, but he's also like, I know modern shit too, So he's playing both sides.
Yeah, for me, when first impression wise, it was definitely like the vibe that you almost curated to us. Not to call it like the perfect background music, but on first listen, it was that's kind of what it was. Yeah. Like I was listening to it while I was cooking, while I was working, while I was cleaning, stuff like that. Then the second time around, I started to try to listen to the lyrics more and what he's saying, because the vibe, the production, crazy, like all of that, like I was really impressed by it, because I never heard of this guy before until you brought him up. So I had no knowledge at all going into it, didn't know what to expect at all. But yeah, it was definitely something that at first listen, I was like, oh, like just vibes. That's what came to my mind. It's a very vibey oriented album, and I appreciated it for that aspect. And then I listened to it more, listened to the lyrics. I also, like Leo mentioned, like the sports references and stuff like that. It was cool.
I hear you on that one. I heard this album like I was cooking for Thanksgiving. So like, I was cooking for Thanksgiving and I played it like, and I'm moving around like, so yeah, I hear you on that. It is like very, very smooth and calming, and it puts you into a certain like kind of flow, right? So yeah, I definitely attest to that.
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of music that's very adjacent to this. For y'all who don't know, I'm a big Boldy James fan, and for you guys who don't know who Boldy James is, he's technically part of Griselda, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's technically part of Griselda. He's from Detroit. Incredible rapper. I could tell he has a really big influence on Blvck Sam style. He's even on the album, which is crazy because when I first heard it, I was like, this reminds me of Boldy James. And I heard Boldy James come in, and I was like, oh. So it's like, it wasn't that much of like a uncomfortable or a different left field listen for me. And I felt kind of like at home. I definitely was a big fan of the production. I did admittedly have a hard time kind of telling the songs apart, because it kind of because it's like so smooth and such like a certain audio profile. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you like off the top of my head, oh yeah, this is like this song, this is that song. But I do have some highlights, and especially like this second track where like he starts to add drums to this song. Is when it starts to have a little more like energy and everything.
Was that Gossamer?
Yeah, like Gossamer. Yeah. Like I definitely like the songs that have like more drums and more like energy to it, because he do has a smooth voice.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look up what Gossamer is. Anybody know what Gossamer is?
I have no idea what that is.
No idea.
That's a song to me. That's a song. Yeah, I'm sure it's like some kind of like crazy thing. But
a gossamer is a noun, a fine filmy substance consisting of cobwebs spun by small spiders, seen especially in autumn.
Interesting.
Yes.
Very intriguing. I will say though, he does have like some really good, like a really good pen. I could tell he's a really good like lyricist. Like at least like every song at least has at least like one moment where I was like, that was pretty clever. Like I forgot what song. It might have been Gossamer where he said something about like I took a trip to Siberia and I still ain't found a nigga as cool as me. I like stuff like that. That's like that reminds me of like like stuff like like Willie James or like Rock Marciano, something would say like those little clever one-liners to keep your attention.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. But yeah, the production was
Punchlines. That's
yeah.
Punchlines.
He has some good punchlines. I'll say that.
But I didn't get a chance to really dissect because he's a very like I can tell he's a very dense kind of like rapper, and it's not like I'm gonna throw it on and like be able to catch the things and stuff like that. And there's always a lot of benefit to having like a really dense writer, but that also requires a lot of like research and listening and like looking on Genius and stuff like that. Even right now, I'm looking on Genius to remember some of the bars I remember, but yeah, it was a smooth first impression.
I appreciate that. I think to like Joelle's point, when we first when I first shared it, she was like 37 minutes. Let's go. Like I appreciate the fact that like it's that long. Like it's just 37 minutes, right? And it's no pun intended. Like it's easily digestible. So yeah.
Also, side note, I didn't even realize. He has like a legitimate, like I guess like a streaming hit on here. Hyogo.
Yeah.
I saw him in the well on the ones and twos.
Yeah.
And Hyogo has like 25 million streams or something like that. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yep. And this is he only came out like 2023, like 2023, 2022.
Damn, he's doing good for himself. Then.
Yeah, that's only a couple years. That's fire.
Yeah, legit.
I mean, you're saying he's paying his bills off of streaming.
He did mention something.
Yeah.
He was like, what he said.
I did raise one eyebrow.
I do a feature that pay a couple months rent, something like that.
Yeah, he said now streaming's paying my bills or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, hey man.
Hey, if it's possible, I know Spotify don't really pay out much, but making it work.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I know we kind of like alluded to it, but like, if we're just talking about like feelings and how this album made you feel, right? Like, for me, it just made me feel confident, right? Like I think I go back to what Paris said before, right? Like I'm cooking and I'm making the best dish of my life just because this music is playing in the background and it's making me feel like Gordon Ramsay right now.
Yeah.
Right. And to be honest, like that's really how it feels. Like I don't think there's a space that I haven't listened to this project in and have felt that, right? It's just something that you could just put on and play, and people are just gonna immediately be like, "Oh, this is cool! Like this sounds amazing," right? But outside of confident, I'm just curious to see like what feelings did the album make you guys feel?
I think I alluded to it before, but it made me feel relaxed because to go off what you just said about cooking, like for me, and I think I said it here before, I think like cooking in general, I have to cook for somebody else. I get anxiety doing that, right? So like having this album play in the background and I had to make dinner for me in Atlanta, it actually did give me, like to your point, it was confidence, but it also was just more so relaxation and comfort. Like I actually did enjoy what I was making. And it didn't make me feel like I was like above my level of skill set in the kitchen than whatever else I do. So like it actually did make me feel a lot more confident in my cooking. But most of all, it kind of was like almost like a shoulder. It was like a hand on my shoulder, like yo, you got this. Like just listen. Like I almost felt like it was a scene in Goodfellas or some shit. Like me just like in the prison making like food and like the nice little prison they had in that scene. So. I felt relaxed listening to it overall. Great for anxiety. So if you need an album to just listen to, like play, and you're trying to zone out, or you're trying to focus on something, I always say that I think this is a strong contender for a recommendation on that because I felt very focused. Even when I listened to it the second time around, this is at my desk at work. Like it helped me do a lot of tasks. And then of course, like I listened to it like on a walk, and I felt calmed, despite it being mad cold outside. Like it did feel like warmth in my ears. So shout out to the production, specifically Max He. Yeah. Like I think his production was awesome. Maybe you want to check him out too. So yeah. I'm big into production like that. So sonically, it made me feel all these things for sure.
It's something about like like the pianos are throughout
Yeah, it
the
was
whole
like the-
project is amazing.
Yeah, I mean anything from like it's very jazzy, like it's
Yeah.
jazzy, but like a little bit. I would say like obviously modern jazz, like not anything like traditional. But
Yeah.
Like again, and this is kind of all in line with like some of the artists we spoke about. So like to Matt's point, like for me, it wasn't me getting out of my comfort zone. In fact, it brought me back to that. So it was an overall like easy listen for me, and it just made me feel good, it made me feel relaxed, and just like less anxiety. So
No, I feel you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that Blvck Sam really kind of lands a plane on what Matt was saying before of like all the songs kind of sound similar, but that's because he's trying to work out something conceptually, you know? And I can't think of any now, but there's definitely been albums in the past where artists have been like, hey, this is the concept I'm going for. And they do not do it well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to touch on one that in the past that we've all listened to, J. Cole's project For Your Eyes Only does a similar thing where it's like a short album. He has an idea for the album, and sonically every track sounds, sounds in the same wavelength, and he does a good job there. I think Blvck Sam does an incredible job with his fine dining experience, and it kind of is reminiscent of when you go to one of these Michelin star restaurants or these restaurants trying to, rise to that level of they're feeding you something. They want to give you an experience, right? A lot of people who aren't familiar with fine dining, their main criticism of like any type of fine dining is, hey, there's not like enough variety, or there's not enough like food on the plate for me to get full. But the point is like the head chef is trying to give you something specific, something in particular. And I think Blvck Sam does that, wonderfully with this album, especially, there's nuances in each production, so it's not, every song doesn't sound exactly the same, but they do sound derivative, which in music criticism, being derivative is kind of like looked down upon, frowned upon. But in some cases like this one, I think it works to the concept of the album, and it really pushes through the entire experience.
And if I could add, I also forgot to mention this, right? Like his rollout was literally like traveling across the country and creating fine dining experiences for like $300 a person.
Wow,
Like
makes sense.
With the music in the background, and he's talking about the music, like that just shows a level of detail that like I really appreciate, to be honest with you. Like that's a very unique rollout that I've never heard of before, and it's of course like to be so heavily inspired by fine dining, it just only makes sense, right? And I could tell like as somebody that as somebody that thinks about stuff like a lot, like I could see that. Like if I'm in a fine dining restaurant and I'm a musician and I'm an artist, right? I would think like, what would be a phenomenal intimate experience that I could create for people who listen to my music, and that's also inspired by fine dining, right? And immediately, right? Like how about I just play the music in the elements, right, that it's supposed to be played in?
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel like a lot, like some artists don't necessarily understand what environment their music should be playing in, right? Which I think is a very crucial element as far as like how you digest music. Just some last like couple things that I wanted to add, right? I thought the album was also like incredibly like cultural, right? Especially given the audio, like the additional audio outside of it, right? Like, so I'm pretty sure you hear like Japanese chefs, you hear Spanish chefs, I believe you hear French chefs as well. So like, you're not only like tying the food into it, you're also tying food into a variety of different places, right? Like it's not just American food, which fine dining, I don't even know if there is American fine dining food, if you want me to be completely honest.
no, there is.
There is?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple of restaurants.
That's cool. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's pretty awesome. It's probably inspired though, like by French cuisine or something like that.
They feel like they all follow the same like blueprint in terms of like aesthetics and like the way it's constructed in there. So
Yeah.
no doubt about that.
So this is actually like leading us right into like a discussion question I had, which was what does Blvck Sam's inspiration for this album say about creativity?
I mean, off rip, if you're talking about the creation of the album, like, I think one of the points I had was, he's kind of an example of like the fact that I miss like physical media, because I feel like you're saying, like even the artwork of the album, I seen his social posts. So like I went through his social media, watched some of the videos. I just imagine like if this album was obviously, and I don't know if it is, but if it's physically sold, like I can imagine like the linear notes and like everything that comes with it. I seen like the track list was on like a menu.
That's tough. I didn't know that.
Fire.
Which is crazy. Like it literally looked like a 5-star Michelin restaurant like menu, like a carbone or like any type of like the grill. Like it reminded me of that. Like so, I think everything he put together with that, and I believe like the chef samples, and just the whole thing really just being a concept of like fine dining rap, as he put it.
We go crazy on vinyl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my goodness.
I think physically and like the way everything's constructed, like he had the vision of it, like making a fine dining rap album.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen a lot of people really touch on that. Obviously, we had Doom, which I'm assuming he's inspired by Doom heavy, but yeah, I think through the art itself and like everything that he was able to like take inspiration from, I think that I don't know if that answers your question, but that's where I got out of it. Like everything he put into it more so showed the themes and like the messaging more than I think some of the bars did. Granted, he had some great bars. Like I think one of my favorite was on it might have been, I forgot exactly which track it was on, but he goes, trying to better layer my flavors, the current mission, trying to give you shit, something to savor with every re-listen. Like that shit as a like a dish maker, like that's a fire bar. Like that's a creative ass bar. So I think he was able to like subtly drop in hints of like him being into the restaurant shit, but he was able to like layer it to his point lyrically and talking about other shit like sports and all that stuff. So I think he did do it, but I always say that he did it like outside of it, like whether it be the track list, whether it be the artwork, whether it be the music videos, the overall promotion of the album. I think he did it there 100% versus on the record.
Yeah, and to add, like I think even like the intro like just gives you like don't savor it, like don't savor the taste, like that's. And if you guys have seen the menu's a fire movie too. Like that's where the recording is from. Like the menu is like literally it's a really good movie. Like this album and that movie.
When did that movie come out, by the way?
Like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like it was during COVID.
Yeah.
Around during COVID.
Probably.
It's on Max.
Yeah, me too.
Who's that again?
What is his name? It's the
Ralph Fiennes is the cook there.
Yeah.
He's like the antagonist.
And what's her name?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah, she's like the.
She's our baby.
I think like to answer the question about creativity, right? Like I think it's worth noting that you can literally be inspired by anything, right? If something moves you, you can be inspired by it, and then it takes a level of depth to unearth whatever idea you have and to go deeper, right? So like I'm happy that you mentioned like the MF Doom reference, because like it is his favorite artist.
Oh,
like,
okay,
it's not
there you
even like that. It makes sense. Like, and I can't remember who suggested Matt Villainy. Thank you,
Mike.
Nah, like I appreciate this club so much, like, and I appreciate like Yalar so much, like just because like it's changed my way of listening to music, right? Like ever since that album, ever since some other albums, like I've listened to things a little bit differently, and you could always trace it back, right? And like it's like a tree, like it's like they talk about it in sports, right? Like there's a coach, and then you have all these other assistant coaches.
The coaching
and
tree.
then,
Yeah.
Exactly. And then they branch out, right? So like that's how I look at it, and it's nice to kind of like go back to the source.
That's a good way to describe Doom. Doom is pretty much like a coach, like a lot of like really mainstream artists, like Playboi Carti was influenced by Doom. You would never hear that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
every,
crazy.
you know what I'm saying? Influence would be anywhere.
And in the spirit of influence, you mentioned Paris, you mentioned Griselda. Yeah, that's one of them. So like you're really on point with everything. So I know we mentioned some standout tracks before, but like we've kind of been alluding and talking around it. So I would love to hear like any
Hold on.
Yeah,
I want to go back to the inspiration and creativity.
My bad. Yeah, slow me down.
It's all right. I just wanted to say that. Oh, what's up, Harley?
What's up, Harley?
What's up,
Yo.
Hey.
What's going
What's
on?
up, y'all? Oh, so those who are unfamiliar with my game, my name is Harley. Gusto rin kita talk about from Michelinman.
I was just mentioning that like the inspiration for the album. I mean, like I said before, he really landed the plane on this concept. But I know we giving him a lot of pats on the backs, giving him a lot of thumbs up, but we're gonna see what type of creative he is with the next album. I feel like because he did a really good job, especially if this album was just like, hey, I made an album about fine dining and that's it. It would still would have been a good album, but like I wouldn't respect him as much as an artist. But the fact that he did the music videos and these Michelin star restaurants, he played the music there and explained it. He really gave like a whole, like you said, this whole fine dining rollout.
Yeah, he
That
committed.
really speaks. Yeah, that really speaks to how committed he was to that concept and how in depth his mind was working to actually, resolve these machinations in his inspiration, right? But if the next album is like the same thing, I'm gonna be like, all right, man, you can do the same thing twice, but it's not gonna
New
come out
menu.
the same, right? So we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
I wouldn't be surprised if like the next album was like some sports type shit. Like I really would like that. If I'm his publicist, I'm like, hey, listen, like you're throwing in hints like about having a sports album that's like similar, but like you're giving a lot of sports bars, so like it could work. But like, yeah, you put a lot of like thought and attention into like this first project. So like, I think the anticipation is a lot higher, right? So we've been on a sophomore album run. I don't know what that's gonna look like for him. So that's really interesting.
He did have a couple sports bars in the album though.
Yeah.
I know he mentioned like Louis the Rise at one point, and I forget what else. But so maybe
Can you repeat the question for Hardy too?
Yeah, I got you. What was the question? What does Blvck Sam's inspiration for this album say about just creativity in general?
I think that's dope, man. It's like Leo was saying, like to have an inspiration and commit to it, and like this is something that I hadn't really been done before. Like there's been concept albums and stuff, but not to this extent. And like he's talking about all these like a lot of words that I didn't even know, and like just terms like cooking terms. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
I agree.
So it's cool because he must have done the research, and he must have like I don't know what his experience is with cooking and food to that extent. I wouldn't imagine him to be like a chef or anything like that. So he probably like really like had this idea, and he said, "I'm gonna lock in."
Yeah.
Went in, did his like homework, and it came out pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I laughed when like Joelle was like, "Yo, Action Bronson's gonna be pissed." As like an actual chef to not come out with this to not come out with a problem like this. Yeah, you want to say more about that, or you good?
No. I realized there was another artist. Sorry, there was another artist I forgot, and Action Bronson is the like chef. Like he's literally used to work with the same guy. I think Maddie Matheson. Like him and Maddie used to do collabs. And Maddie Matheson is the guy that created the Bear.
Yeah,
he's also in the Bear. But I just realized that yes, that's the number. Like
he got a whole show and everything.
He's literally the chef in rap.
To go to your question about like creation and stuff like that, I could say like as somebody that's like an artist myself, and like that looks everywhere for inspiration. Like for those who don't know, I draw. I'm also a graphic designer. I also design like clothing and also make music. So it's like I find inspiration pretty much everywhere in terms of all facets of like my creative avenues and everything. And like when you have an artist mindset, you just like I can't even explain it. You just see the world differently. Like but you can also. It's also if you're a super fan of something, you could kind of that's the best way to kind of describe something. Like if you were a super movie head, you might start thinking about like how stuff is shot, like stuff that like a normal person would not see. They'll just be like, cool movie. And you'll start being like, oh yeah, that's like a wide shot. And like it'll just kind of like sometimes even break your immersion sometimes. It's a blessing and a curse. That's how I am with art. Like I'll look at like the smallest thing, I'll look at real life things and be like, all right, that's like a nice hue. I could probably blend that if you know what I'm saying, blah blah blah, put it together. So it's like and same with music too. Music is like essentially like a bunch of layers stacked on top of each other. And like one thing I really, as an artist myself, but also as an appreciator of art, I see art as kind of like the most beautiful thing that separates kind of like humans from like kind of like other species is that humans have the ability to take something and like create it out of nothing. You can take something from your imagination and bring it into the world. And so like being somebody that's like, I'm in all these fine dining experiences. I'm in these establishments. I'm like eating all this food. Like that started as a thought in his head that he kind of brought to life and layered and like went to the studio and refined and like wrote and stuff like that. And like the amount of dedication you need to create a rap album, like it's kind of underappreciated. It takes months sometimes, like years sometimes, of like going to the studio, like endless studio sessions, like refining your delivery if you care enough, and like to have that kind of like spark of inspiration and turn into an entire 37-minute long album is like, regardless of how you even feel about it, that is something to really be like, to be admired, to just have like that consistent of like a goal. Because like, how many ideas do you have, inspirations or thoughts you have that are just fleeting?
Yeah.
In the day, like I want to do that, just forget about it.
Yeah.
Or like I should buy that, I should do that, and then just like to be like locked in, like nah, I'm seeing this through to completion. That's something only artists can really do, and I think that's like speaks a lot to like his ambition and creativity for like a concept like this.
Yeah, and a level of depth, right? So again, like we've been alluding to. So thank y'all for answering that question. I appreciate y'all. So we've been alluding thus far about like like tracks. So I would love to hear like maybe just a couple. It doesn't have to be like too many. It can just be like one or two or something like that. And as you're doing that, right, like Matt, is it possible for you to cue up like the first 10 seconds of Sumac? Like
Yeah.
like that. When I heard the first 10 minutes, when I heard like the first 10 seconds, I was like, what is going on? And it's super smooth too.
Yeah, I do love this beat. I'm still getting a hang of like which songs or which beats, because I put notes on my phone about like I like this beat, I like the guitars, I like the pianos on this one. But like I can't like memorize it yet and just be like,
Yeah, I don't know
that's
any of the
that
song titles.
Yeah, but like
It's,
I like this one.
Yeah, this is Spedda's verse is crazy too, by the way. Like one of my favorite like underground or like low key rappers. So like when I saw he was a feature on here, I was like, nah, this is gonna be a good track. So,
who?
Spedda, well, Currency. That's he goes
gotcha.
Spedda and Dreddy. But yeah, he's one of my favorite like guys from back in the like blog era days. But like he like him being on the track, it makes sense because he falls in line with this same genre of like architect or rapper. So
Yeah.
it's dope that he got Currency on there.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard anything from him in a long time. Like when I saw his name, I was like, "Yo, Curry."
Yo, he's currently killing it. Like
Yeah?
him and Cardo like got some good mixtapes.
Word.
You should check them out.
Fun fact.
I might be crucified. I've never had a Currency face. Like I never like
Nah, Currency is
like in high school, I never really like locked in with Currency. I've heard him on like features and stuff here, and he's always a good feature artist. I never like Currency and Action Bronson are two people that kind of just like missed me.
That was me by Action Bronson. I feel like I never really dived into anything like that, and I've always like I never understood why I didn't. But he's somebody that like I missed in terms of like somebody to listen to. And funny things, like on paper, he seems like a rapper that I would really love, but never really got a chance to listen to discography like that.
Yeah, I know him from writing for Wayne.
Oh, you talking about Currency?
Yeah.
Facts.
For Wayne. Like that's where I know him from. So like I always
When did he write for Wayne?
Carter 2, I think it's the Carter 2. Like he's almost done the entire Carter 2. That's out. And you can hear it. Like when I say that, like you're gonna hear it.
Currency is actually one of the first like Young Money artists. Like when he first founded Young Money, it was actually Currency. Believe it or not, it was Flow Rider too. Like I knew Flow Rider from Man of the Year.
Wow.
If everybody knows that song, like Man of the Year, like that's when I heard Flow Rider for the first time. I was in like 6th grade or some shit, and I'm like, what the hell? I was like, Flow Rider is crazy. But then he made literally after that he made Low, and he just got out of here after that. But the original Young Money roster was Wayne, Currency, Flow Rider, and obviously like Mac Main and like Jay Mills and them. But yeah.
And Matt, you cut it off like right before
I got you
started. Like I've never heard of a smoother flow. Like
Pulling flesh out from my collar, immersed in the mirror, made a mess, calling me so handful of fish as fermented.
Would you say this is like your favorite song?
Genesis for this girl, no brush on her Boston lettuce and Chico.
Yeah.
Capacity.
It's been a good pick. As of late, like it transitions from here to Acorn Diet, and then recently like Iron Gate, right, which has like a Hispanic sample to it, like a salsa sample to it. I don't know. It's not.
That's
salsa.
like the 4th or 5th song, right? Something like that.
It's towards the bottom.
Oh,
like,
my fault. Like the
it's at
10th song, I think.
Yeah, it's at the end.
I don't remember the title.
But is it Iron Gate? It might not be Iron Gate.
Track 11, yeah, Iron Gate. Track 11.
It's one of them. Yeah, it is. Yeah, because you'll hear the
He did have like a little little
mariachi.
yeah, like twang on it. I remember one of those.
Twang is crazy.
Beautiful.
This is goes
Yeah.
back to what I was talking about the other week. Like this song sounds like the Weather Channel, like that.
Yeah.
The thing I was telling about those playlists, like that's what it sounded like, and I think that's why I gravitated toward that sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, like Mike Allstott is that's just good music. Like it's just good music. It's good references.
Yeah.
Like it's very confident.
That's one of my favorites.
Anybody else got anything?
Faustian. Faustian is like probably my favorite. When I listened to the album for the first time, that was the song that got me. Like that's the song that I wanted to replay over and over again. That production is gorgeous. Like if you could cue that up, Faustian, that says track 9, I believe. That off rip, like, come on.
Yeah, this one has some nice drums. As I'm saying, when the drums kind of come in, that's like when like my attention's grabbed. It's like oh, because I feel like a lot of the time it's like a vibe.
Yeah.
But like this is like a vibe, but the drums are kind of like.
Crystal press on the handle and blade perimeter.
Like this sounds like the internet, you know?
Turn the Sahara summer into a Wisconsin winter. I practice swings on the sprinter.
Yeah.
He's a punchliner.
It's funny you bring up.
He is.
It's funny you bring up Faustian because like my favorite run on the album, even though Mike Allstott is like my favorite song on the album, my favorite run on the album is Faustian, Houston Comet, and Iron Gate. Those 3 songs, like they have different production on each one, but they kind of like meld together as like a nice like 3-song run. And I'm always looking for that in the albums, right? Like what songs really kind of like mesh together really well. And I think he does a wonderful job there,
I did like
especially
this
because like each production sounds like a little different.
This is Houston Comet.
Houston Comet, I did like.
Yeah.
I gotta add some of my
that's one of my
Is I added like 5, 6 songs to my like. Yeah. That's.
Like, oh, go
Said
with
chain iridescent like the neck of a pigeon. What?
Yeah, that's good.
Nah. Where are you pulling this stuff from? That's the crazy part about that.
It's actually mad funny.
OD funny. Y'all want to take a guess? Like, what's the top stream songs on the album?
I think I spoiled it.
You spoiled
Hyogo. Yeah, Hyogo is. And that's
Yeah.
also, I love that track too.
So not including singles.
I didn't even know that was. I have no idea what his singles
Yeah.
are. But yeah, he has a song that has like 25 million streams, and that's
See, I know, yeah.
that's crazy because there's some of my favorite like more like not underground, but like I was just talking to someone about Danny Brown, who's
Yeah.
like obviously a bigger artist, and his album doesn't even have a song with 25 million streams. So it's kind of like that's
Yeah.
that speaks a lot. That's dope.
Also, super random fact. I found out who Booty Brown is from Gorillaz. I know that's mad random.
Oh, we said the Far Side.
Far Side. Yeah. My fault. Because I saw the anniversary of that album like popped up.
It's so crazy because when he, not to go off topic, but when he requested that album shortly after De La Soul dropped their album, and they were talking about linking with the Gorillaz on that track on
Feel Good Inc.
Feel Good Inc., which is, I think that was divine timing right there.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
A lot of people were talking about Gorillaz at the time too, so it's kind of like
In alignment.
it's beautiful.
So listen, guys, if you're listening, we are a collective of manifestation. Like a lot of things happen when we listen to music and we talk about them. So if you listen to us, you'll probably hear a lot of things that will come as a result of that.
You might see the future.
We see
Pay particular attention to market, the way it should,
Yes.
the way things are going this year. Marcus scared funk flex off the radio.
Yeah. For some background, there was a night.
Marcus is the oracle.
He's the oracle, man.
So
I feel like it's always been like that in our friend group though. Like many times, like things that we have been into somehow end up becoming like. I mean, not saying we're cool or whatever, but
No, we are. Yeah, we see the future, man.
That's a fact. So, #1 song, most streamed song.
Yogo.
So, not including that one, because that dropped before the project.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
It dropped before the project.
Well, I'm kind of cheating because I got it right in front of me. But Mike's a lot.
And I'm actually cheating too because I'm
You
looking.
said Mike's a lot?
Yeah.
Mike. Mike Allstott, yeah.
It's because of that Boldy James feature. I think it's because.
Oh, Mike Allstott. Damn, I said Mike's a lot. Yo, my fault.
Even you, it's even you.
What he say?
I said,
Mike's a lot.
bro, when I heard this album, I was like 5 tracks in. I was like, this sounds so much like a Bully James album. I heard Bully James coming in on the time. I was like, yo, did I manifest that? Yo, it's like hard.
He wasn't there before.
He wasn't there
you
before.
thought
Like,
about
yeah,
it.
you heard I talk about him. He's like, I got you, man.
But I love artists like that. Like you can tell you're very tapped in and you're very self-aware of who your fan base is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when that happens, like it's like a nice little that's why I love like I don't want to shout out Apple Music, but that's why I love Apple Music. Like when albums drop, there's no features, so you're listening to the album, and it's just like whoever created the album. So when a feature does come on, like you don't know, right? And it is very telling for an artist to be very self-aware and know your fan base and the fan bases of others to have good features. Like I think good features is a skill, right? Like they have good features is definitely like a good thing for an artist.
I think
I think that's intentional though. Sometimes like
should be.
they
It should
no
be.
meaning like the features thing. I think sometimes like because I don't really be on Spotify, but the features will come out when the artist is ready for it because a lot of times like they like the experience of you listening to it, not knowing who's gonna pop up.
Yeah, like
I love that.
That's more
I
so
love
the
that.
artist's intention versus like the streaming platform.
Yeah.
Like typically it's the artist's go to say like hold these features. Travis Scott does that, right? So
Yeah.
like he'll hold like who's on the track until like maybe week 2. By
something
by
like that,
point,
yeah.
everybody knows
Yeah.
who's on it. But like on the first listen or like the first day it's out, there's always hidden features.
Yeah.
So that typically is like an artist decision.
I remember the first time that I'm not gonna say he put everybody onto this, but I think the first time I seen that really big like a thing was Astro World.
Yeah.
Because that was crazy. That's probably the best first listen experience that ever happened for everybody. Like it was like a con, we were all in together. We didn't know about Frank Ocean, Drake being on it, and none of that stuff. And then obviously Travis did it again. Kanye did it with Donda. Tyler the Creator does that with his albums, and he'll surprise you with like a Pharrell feature.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that would come. 21 Savage did it with one of his more slept on albums, I'm Better Than I Was, and he had like a hidden J. Cole feature on A Lot, which was a hit. He had hidden Charles Gambino feature when Gambino started to become more like elusive and like he was also really hot. So I think that's really, there's good features and there's like important features where it's like, yo, this is like somebody I look up to.
Facts.
Like important features to me is like, there's features that's like, oh, this dude killed it. And there's some that's like, oh wow, like that's special. Like, when Andre 3000 surprised you on solo reprise or something like that. And it's like, yo, Andre's on Frank Ocean's album again, and he has his own track. That's like just beautiful. That hits differently than you just like hearing Frank Ocean and somebody else.
Nah, agreed. Especially for an artist who's like up and coming, because like you think you could get like a person with a more well-known name than you, and they just might give you a throwaway verse, and it doesn't mesh with your album or your song or at all. And you're just getting the name out there just to have the name, with the importance of making sure that it flows well with the music, as opposed to like, oh, I just want this person's name out there to get more plays. You know what I mean? Like that's important as well for the quality of the music.
And there's only 2 lyrical features.
Yeah, and I think they were intentionally chosen because
Oh, yeah.
look at who it is. It's Boldy James, and like Matt said, I mean, this is very inspired by him. And then you do get a little bit currency inspiration because overall, like
the production's
he's
very
like,
currency.
Yeah.
he's like the forefather of that style too. So obviously, and for him to get two of them, like one of somebody that's current, but then also somebody from the past, and get them on here, it's almost like he's kind of
As an
positioning
independent
himself.
artist.
He's trying to position himself to be a part of that collective, though.
Yeah.
Like maybe we might see him on like a Rock Marciano album.
Yeah.
Or we might see him
I
on
can see
even a
that.
West Side Gun. Like you never know.
Yeah.
So I think he's positioning himself to be on there, and I think this is the connection to do that.
I think one of the most disappointing features like on this is Terrace Martin.
Oh, you don't like what he? I actually did like.
Was that actually like Terrence Martin on the song, or was it like a sample or something like that?
Nah, it was actually Terrace
No,
Martin.
I like that song. I thought he did.
That's-
his thing. I thought obviously it was more minimal than
Yeah,
typical, I
yeah.
felt like.
It's just like when you see that name on the album, you get excited for it. Yeah, you get excited for it. Like especially like if it's like him, if it's Blvck Sam, like it's like what is he doing with a Terrace Martin feature on an album? Like that's like and it's at the end.
Yeah.
It's at the end too. So I'm
So
like,
you think
all
it's
right,
something
this better be the
grandiose.
best song on the project.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So Mike's a lot. Mike on side. Acorn Died is the second one. Gossamer, and I think what was the other one? Sumac.
Was it like your top 4?
No, those are the most streamed songs on the album.
Oh.
Like outside of Iago.
What would you say are like your top 3 songs?
3 songs?
Where you
It's-
say
it's-
your top 3?
Acorn Diet, Sumac, and probably like Iron Gate, just because it's like it's very different from every other song on the project, and it has like I feel like it has like Latin inspirations, right? So like I really appreciate that. Like it just goes to show how culturally appropriate the album's trying to be.
As
Right.
opposed to culturally inappropriate.
I agree. So yeah, I don't have any like other analysis of the album.
Like I could talk about my favorite.
Yeah, go ahead,
I put some notes down to start remind myself. Like I like Gossamer a lot. Obviously because of the bar I mentioned. I wrote. I can't remember talking about how it sounds, so I'll play it. But Vanta Black, I remember like I like that song a lot. I put that as one of my favorite. Yeah, this was hard. This was like the song that like when I think about this album, I think about this song.
Yeah, the first 5 songs, bro. Like the first 5, from the moment that the album plays, all the way up to like Mike's a lot, and then so to add to like what's happening with the project, like if he's trying to make a tasting menu like for a dinner, right? Like if you notice to go from Gossamer to Vanta Black, Sumac, Acorn Diet, Mike's a lot. I'm not gonna get over that. Mike All Stop. Like so, those all are hits. Like we've all confirmed that those are hits. And then you have Saint Laurent Armor, which is kind of like the mellow. Like it doesn't really fit in, but it's supposed to be a palate cleanser, which is kind of interesting. And then it goes right into
No pun intended.
Mm-hmm. And then you get right back to the bars and the smooth beats. Right, so it's that I thought that was really cool, but yeah, Vanta Black is fire. But continue, my bad.
Now those are my top 3 songs. It was Vanta Black, it was Gossamer, and it was what was the other one I put down? Eurydice. How do you pronounce that?
Eurydice.
Eurydice.
Like
Yeah,
Eurydice.
I can't.
I think it might be
talk
Eurydice.
Eurydice?
Eurydice.
Yeah, based off the.
You think or you know?
I think based off the Greek myth of Orpheus and Eurydice.
Oh,
Where,
damn, I
won't get into it. I don't want to waste all time.
Also, like one last thing about Sumac is like the opening bars is literally the recipe to a sauce for one of the dishes that he got from the chef. So like he's literally just rapping. Like that's like it's all ingredients, which is tough, right? Like to have that and to make it sound like so cool and smooth. Any last thoughts on Standout Tracks?
Does anybody have any more?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said mine as like Floshian, as a Hyogo, and then finally, Mike. What is it?
Mike's alive.
Mike Allstott.
Mike's alive.
I'm never gonna see his name the same way again.
I had the names
Oh,
right,
man, I
and
can't
then I
believe
came to the session, and now my brain is gonna say
The
that.
name of this has to be Mike's a lot. Like it has to be Mike's a
Gotta
lot.
Mike's
His
a lot.
episode name gotta be Mike's a Lot.
Because it opens up like that.
No spaces in any drop.
Got it. Also, yeah, Harley, thank you. I almost forgot that you were there. Yeah, damn.
Yeah, it's all good. My bad. I was taking the as you know. I don't know if anybody mentioned Gray Matter, but as an opener, that shit is so fire.
Yeah, as the intro, yeah.
Yeah.
So fire. It's the clip from the menu, and it just kind of like just alludes to this, like, don't just eat, like,
Yeah.
taste, like, you know, like, don't just hear what you're listening to on the surface, like
Savor.
savor, like, oh man. And it sets this like mellow like tone for the rest of it.
You know what
So I
this
fuck
song
with that a
sounds
lot.
like? It sounds like a song I would use on one of my fit checks.
that is tough. Like, when you, like, are you putting stuff on?
I'm gonna use it.
Coming soon.
It's coming.
Yeah. I fuck with Mike's a lot too. Hyogo. I just really like the way he was flowing on it. And what's another one that I liked? Acorn Diet. I think those would be my 3 favorites.
Yeah, and then the level of stuff that like you could just learn from going into the depths of like the album. Like I know there's grass-fed cows, but I didn't know that there was like cows that you could feed acorns to, and you increase the literally yes, like grass-fed acorn diet.
I
like,
forgot
that's-
what song. I forgot what song they were talking about. This one thing that like one version of it is kind of cheap, the other version is infinitely more expensive, and yet only an expert could tell the difference between the two.
Wow.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Nah, like
And you still like go into like the detail for it.
yeah, in the beginning we were talking about like how like one of the biggest things about like the album is to like propose the idea of like value, right? Like if I'm paying X amount of money, like if I'm paying money for what's deemed to be expensive, like who's putting the price tag on that?
Yeah.
Right? And why? Right? Why am I paying X amount of dollars for Wagyu or something like that? Right?
I mean, that shit slap.
It's that beef Marvel score. That's what it is. So if you ever want to be fancy, go to a restaurant. Yo, what's the beef Marvel score? This.
I ain't got this type of
Sir, this is a win.
Not in this economy.
So as far as replay value, is the album something you would revisit? Why or why not?
I mean, definitely, and I think it's really hinges on the fact that the runtime's like 38 minutes, like under 40, and so that helps replay value a lot. Because if this was like an hour 15 long album, then I'd be like, all right, bro, we get it. You like food, you know what I mean?
I got Ratatouille. You like food? I love it.
Marcus, I took your advice, and the first time I listened to this like fully was while cooking, and I think as like a background to like while you're like mixing ingredients and like cooking and stuff and like having this play, it was great. So I'm definitely running back in the kitchen. Honestly, if there's anytime you want to just things to have in the background too. So I would see myself revisiting this pretty often.
Yeah, it stayed in my rotation since I first heard it. Like it's just very easy listening music, and then like if you put it on shuffle, like then you really start to get a feel for like, all right, like what songs do I really like outside of the order that it's being placed in. But yeah, anybody else?
I'll probably play like I have like a playlist of just like songs that are like adjacent to this, like in that like super like unique like atmospheric kind of like jazzy lane. Again, that's why I like love Boldy James and like a bunch of other artists that sound like that. So that's music I just listen to in the regular. So I've already added a bunch of songs to the playlist. As an overall album experience, I probably gotta give it a few more listens to like have it gel with me and like be able to again like pick apart the songs because admittedly I think it does like. But like as a criticism of mine, it just blends together way too much, and so it doesn't like capture my attention in terms of like this song is that song, and that song is this song, and like this I like the hook on this song, I like the major moment on that song. But like overall, this is something that like I'd probably like give a few more listens to see like how I feel about it.
I mean, a third of this song would be Pyramids. Pyramids is like 10 minutes. So I think like I think that's like for it to be 37 minutes, right? Like I think it would make sense for it to just all kind of blend together.
So
that's pretty cool.
I'll piggyback off that.
Yeah.
I agree with what Matt's saying though, because I think there are. I think that was one of my biggest critiques too, is that it does all sound the same. Not that it's bad, like it doesn't sound like a bad album or anything, but like sometimes even with like shorter albums, because I'll even like throw in guys like West Side Gun or like all these other guys like that are coming out in the same contemporary space, they're able to like at least like with the transitions are able to like kind of like keep your attention span up a little bit. So these are just like I think like what everybody's saying is like it's too mellowed out, whereas he's also mellowed out himself. Yeah. So I think you have like something that's dual like mellowed out. Like you're gonna have a hard time like really retaining what's going on unless you listen to it like in different settings or different like amount of times. Maybe it's like 10 times. But I think that's mainly my only thing as to read the reason why it was so hard to like, it'll be hard for me to like really want to play it in full. Yeah. Now that being said, I do think there are killer tracks on here that I would like to just place aside and like deep dive on them and appreciate them as separates, because I do think that there are a lot of good standout tracks. But then there are also some that just sound like kind of just like, they kind of blend in the background a little too much. Yeah. But that doesn't take away from the overall concept of the project or anything like that. But that would be my only like critique as well.
I think that's one of the reasons why the Terrace Martin track doesn't hit.
That's fair.
Like, because like by the time you get to the end, it's like it's over. Like it's already over. Like
that makes sense. That's a good point.
That actually happened to me a couple of times. Like I didn't realize it was like so. Like, I guess it's over. Time to play it over, or like listen to it on shuffle now.
Yeah.
But to your point, Paris, I and Matt, I agree with both of you, but I feel like he even himself, like he acknowledges this. And one of the songs, I forget which one it is, but he alludes to this. He's like, "Oh, people hear my mellow sound and they like don't really get the message," or something like that. So like he kind of like he knows that this doesn't stop, but he's just like singing to it.
Are you dissing me?
Yeah.
Listen to it again.
No, but I feel like for the most part we all have the same critiques because I feel the same way. Like I didn't really get to dive into the album as much as I wanted to. I actually got sick right back when I came back from my vacation.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to listen to it as much as I wanted to. But I think for me, no shade to him because I thought that he did well for what I heard. But when I was listening to the songs in those specific environments, because he was so mellow in what he was saying, nothing stood out until I chose to listen to what he was saying.
Yeah, you gotta lock into like really like be like, okay, I'm gonna like sit
like,
down and like
his flow is just like this on every single song he rapping about, and then but it's every song. So like unless you listen to what he's saying with intention, it's just my primary appreciation for the album is the production. Yeah, because they locked in so well with him on the theme of the album that they just hit it on all cylinders. So I can appreciate the production on a crazy amount for what it was. And then when I started listening to him, Blvck Sam, and his lyrics, I was like, oh, he does have some bars, you know, like you said, Marcus, he got the punchlines and stuff like that, sports references, et cetera, et cetera. But for what it is as a whole, I didn't really get to like I think Matt said it, nothing really like stood out to me. Just on what he was saying. But again, kind of like what Harley just mentioned, he's aware of that. That's not his thing. You know, he's more of like that. I'm the vibe setter. I'm the mood setter kind of thing, and which is fine. There's nothing. I'm not knocking it. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's his first album too, so it's like right or something like that.
Second, right?
I think this is like his first album.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so he has time to he has time to grow.
I don't think he is going to change.
I think for this,
I
that is my critique also, but like I see the flip side where like it's like the difference between are you just eating or are you savoring and tasting, and like if you listen to this and like read the lyrics as it goes, like so he's talking crazy about a lot of shit, and like there's a lot of stuff that I didn't even understand and I still don't. Like I need to go back and like if I want to like really understand, like pay more attention. But I think it ties into that intro. Like don't eat, like think about like, you know, the flavors that are mixed here and like all the shit. So sorry to keep bringing the same example, but I think it's cool because I think it feels intentional. Versus like when it happens like on accident, then I don't appreciate that as much. Like things like all just sounds the same thing over and over again. But like this feels like it was like methodical, so I appreciate it a little bit more.
There's a lot, like some of my favorite artists have like a more like lazy flow. Like I mentioned, Bully J.
I was gonna mention.
I'm an enormous Earl Sweatshirt fan, and Earl Sweatshirt notoriously sounds like he's gargling marbles, rapping and stuff. And like he just woke up out of bed. He just dropped that album this year. It's one of my favorite albums of the whole year. It sounds like he just woke up to record it, and it's one of the best albums. Brought me to damn near tears and stuff. And like because he has like a way of just like, you know. He owns it, and he like will capture your attention on something, and like because he's just like boom boom boom, and he'll just like he has one of the best pens in the whole game. Like people like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, like he has a better pen than I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta like even if you do that, you gotta find like your thing. And again, these are all guys that have been in the game for what 10 plus years. He has a lot of time to like grow. He already has the production down packed. He already has like the concepts down packed. So it's like, you know, I'm curious to see, you know, if he's still rapping in 5 years, like, you know, where he takes this style, because you don't gotta change your voice, but you could also, you know, evolve your game to like find like, you know, your pocket to like keep people's like, you know, attention going a little bit more.
I think to go with Earl, like one of the reasons why that works is because his production is like smacking you in the face left and right. Left ear, right ear. Like it's dynamic. It's like
you mixing this shit on like freaking like headsets and shit.
I feel like you can't do both, in my opinion. Like I don't think you could do the melodic thing, but then you do like you can't do the chilled out voice, and you can't do the chilled out production. It has to be like one or the other. It has to be like a balance, right? Because it has to be like an imbalance almost. Like if it's too balanced, then I feel like you're just like inviting unless you're like really locked in, like we're saying, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. I don't think it takes it away. But like for certain people's preferences, I think people like kind of get in the groove with it if there's like some type of like tasteful imbalance. And I think Earl is great at that. And a couple of others like Bully James and like all these other guys we're mentioning, I think they're great at the tasteful imbalance.
I think y'all not hearing my man Blvck Sam, man. Re-listen to the last track, the Blvck Sam dilemma, and you're gonna hear him, man. He's saying that you have to savor this album, savor this flow. He literally says he doesn't need a gimmick for this food to be delectable. You know what I mean? So, but I do get you, Paris, for sure. Like that hard contrast between like flow and production really like creates something that's alluring. But I think it's interesting that Blvck Sam, like in a lot of his lyrics, he's braggadocious while in this mellow sound.
Yeah, I like that.
I think having that nuance is like, I think it's interesting, because I do like a lot of people who talk shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciated that as well.
The way you talk.
Yeah, it's the way you say it that matters
I love
too.
me some braggadocious rap. That's one of my favorite genres in general.
I like abstract ways of bragging. Like I think the way he brags on this is very unique. Like the line about Serbia and like you ain't find nobody as cold as him.
Chain iridescent as pigeon necks.
I like stuff like that. Where you find a unique way. He has a strong pen.
Yeah,
I'm saying like it's like not so much about changing your style and finding a gimmick, but like evolving it. I feel like he can't because like not many people have like amazing debut albums. Like not this is very solid, by the way. Like not even like it's a bad debut album.
Would you listen to it? Would you listen to another project?
Oh yeah. I'll check out another project.
If he
has
dropped the second one,
To be quite honest, I'm someone that's very like, not hypercritical, about music, but I'm someone that's very like, critical of music. I listen to so much of it, and like if I want to listen to your second album, that really means that you have an interest in me. I don't just like that to anybody because there's a lot of artists that don't give that grace to because I'm just like it doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the way I engage in music is like I'll dive in if I have something that interests me. You know what I'm saying? I don't like go in every album like I'm gonna open Genius and like do my research. I got my Wikipedia right here.
Yeah.
You gotta make me want to do all that for you, and that's when I dive in and do all that stuff. So I feel like he gave me enough that it's like, all right, the floor is yours. Like let me see what you got. But see what you got next. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I'll appreciate this even more after his next album. There's artists that drop another album and it's like, let me go back to this first one. Oh, I get it now.
You'll hear him on a feature. Yeah. You're hearing him on a feature very soon. Like I feel like that's where he's at right now.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the last question, right? Out of a 10, how would you rate it?
The ELR score.
Out of 10, I'll go with it's a solid 7. I do think I need to.
Not the reaction.
Chop with my man.
It's in line with the master score.
7's a good score, man.
I gotta say
7 is
something.
a good score, man. We need to stop pretending like it's not.
7's an IGN score, man. You don't want to say nothing.
Listen, a 7 is a positive score. It's a solid score. Sometimes giving 10s is like, I think, exaggerated, and I think sometimes a 7 and even a 6.5 is not a bad score. A 6 is not a bad score.
6.5.
A tomato is 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, 60 plus.
Yeah.
So,
See, like, come on, like, these are not bad scores. Like, just because everything can't be a 9 or a 10, and that's okay. It still don't mean it's bad.
I feel like the internet kind of like demean what like a classic of what like mid is, because mine would be like a 7 out of 10 is mid. I'm like 7 out of 10 isn't mid. It's
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? They call everything mid.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's a
It's
mid.
either mid or a classic, and it's like we have to find some discernment between that. We gotta be in the middle.
I agree with
Yeah, but no,
7's a
you're
good score.
right. But when you start, so the thing is, if something's a 5, that's trash.
that's
You know what I
good.
mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So,
Literally in the middle.
so too, but like the thing is, if someone's like, "Yo, this album's 5 out of 10, you should listen to it," you're gonna be like, "Nah, man."
Nah, it's about the way you say it, because like I agree. Somebody's like, "Yo, bro, you gotta listen to this 5."
What do you say?
I'm like, "Nah, I'm not damn 5." If it's like, "Yo, bro, listen to this album, it's a mixed bag."
Yeah.
a mixed bag is like a 5. It's
Yeah,
like, no,
I agree.
got some, like,
I don't know. I don't know
It's
about
a
that.
range.
It's
yeah,
like-
it's a range. Like,
cool.
how many major artists do you go to and you like just go through their album, got like 30 tracks on it, you pick out like your good 10 songs you're gonna put on the playlist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know
It's
what
all
I'm saying?
about marketing. You gotta sell
You're
it
right.
better.
That'll be a
I
bad
don't know
album
if
to
you
you,
guys-
but that's a mid album. You know what I'm saying? It's
I don't know if you guys do this, but like with movies, for example, if something has like a horrible score, I want to watch it.
Oh, I
Like,
agree.
what
Yeah, it depends.
inspires people to think it's such a bad score?
This comes
Yeah, it
It has to be so bad it's good.
I'm not trying to watch something with
That's
like a
how I am.
13%.
To be
to
honest
that
with you, that's how I am with albums. Like if it's from a well-renowned artist that like he has a great track record and he dropped like a one, I don't know, he dropped like a one. He dropped like a 1 out of 10 album. I'm actually intrigued to hear that over anything, and I want to judge it for myself. So I want to say that. I want to
What's
put
your
that.
favorite one?
Lou Reed has an album called Machine Music or something like that, and like said to be one of the worst albums of all time. And if you guys know who Lou Reed is, he's a fucking genius. Velvet Underground, all that. So like for him to have a critically like unanimously panned album, like I wanted to give it a chance, and it did deserve the score because it's a bunch of noise, but. Like, no, it's literally a bunch.
It was trash, but it's like
I wanted to hear it because it's fucking Lou Reed.
I gotta get out of here soon, so I want to give my rating.
Yeah, let's
I'm
keep it
giving
pushing.
this 8 out of 10.
Fair.
You know, I've been a little
That's
too
one point
generous with my 9s and 10s, so I'm bringing it down a little bit. As like an artistic expression, I'd say this would be like a 10 out of 10, like
Yeah.
including the rollout and everything. But we're not judging all that
Yeah.
in this, right? So like solid 8 out of 10, especially it's like I think you said it's his first real debut album.
Correct.
So as like a freshman release is strong, you know. But if the next album is the same exact thing, then it's like, oh, this is all you had in the tank. So it kind of
Michelinman
brings it
too?
down a little bit. So we got to see what he's got.
It's
You
about
know?
cars. About cars. Every time.
Talk about like oil change and shit.
Hey, listen, it's Penny. You can do it.
Piston bars.
Adam, what did you rate?
Yeah,
that?
Harley want to go?
Oh, Harley. Yeah.
Yeah, I could go. I give it a 7.5. I'm gonna split the difference between Paris and Leo. Again, it's something
We
that
don't do half scores here, man.
Yes,
You
we do. Yes, we do.
It's okay, Harvey.
7.5 too.
7.5. All right.
Word.
Keep it going.
It's something that I need to savor more to see if it'll change. But the big detractor is the songs blending together a lot, and I know that's it's his style.
Yeah.
But as for like specific like things, like playing it while cooking was at least I gotta say like I had fun.
Yeah, I would also give it a 7. But I feel like kind of like to the point. I believe it was either Leo or Harley. One of them said it. I mentioned I didn't get to listen to it as much as I wanted to. So I'll probably give it a couple more spins before I give up on it. But that's the score that I give it now. Maybe if I'm able to dive into the lyrics a little more, see if that boosts it up for me. But I think 7's a solid score for it right now.
Yeah, for me, I give it like, honestly, for me, a 6.5, which isn't a bad score. It's not a bad score. I haven't found an environment that like it's really like catered to it, or that like I've been like, yo, I wanna play this over something I'm already listening to yet. But like when I do have it on, it does transport me to the world he's like curating and creating, which isn't like something that a lot of people could really do. So I do think, you know, if I go through this album, like, you know, one more time and like, you know, with a fine tooth comb and like try to find like the lyrics I like and stuff like that. Because a lot of his like bars kind of like fall on my deaf ears a little bit because I can't really understand what he's saying sometimes. It's so laid back, which is a shame sometimes because like he's saying a lot of clever shit. I was going on Genius like during the meeting. I was like,
he's wild.
I didn't know he said this.
He's wild.
Like, I didn't pick up on it. Like, you know?
Right,
so like,
right.
so like I feel like, you know, his pen game is incredible. I feel like it's one of those albums where if I like go through it again, I'll probably pick up on a really, you know, nice line that made me appreciate it a little more. So it's growing. You know, it's a grower. So right now, I'm gonna give like a 6.5.
6.5. I got it as an 8. I like this album has been in like consistent rotation for me, like for like since I heard it in 2024. And again, like the production is incredible every time I listen to it, and it's quick. Like it's 37 minutes. Like it's such a nice, like I could go for a walk and listen to this and come back home and the album is done, right? Like it's short, it's sweet, it's like it's easily digestible. So again, like, and the music is good. So I had it as an 8. Like the concept is incredible. It's very unique. And then for him to like be able to execute it in the way that he does, I'm also like very big on lyrics. So like adding that element in with the production, in with the length of the album, in with the concept, right? Like it hits a lot of things for me, right? And then again, like the similar criticism is like, would I play that? Where would I play this? Like, I feel like I would have to play all 37 minutes for somebody to really get it, right? I could play one track here and there and it could work, but like, I think the beauty of the project is playing all 37 minutes, right? So that's probably like my only thing. But yeah, 8 out of 10. So that brings it to right around the same critic score that it had. So I think it was a 79 out of 100. We have it as a 7.3. So that's like, that feels good. Yeah, that feels
This will be your first album.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, we closing, right? We closing?
Harley, you got the next album.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
Funny. I think this next album, I love this album. Also short and sweet.
Oh, by
This
Sabrina Carpenter?
Huh?
It's by Sabrina Carpenter.
Serious. Is it really Carpenter?
But I think it's going to be the other side of the spectrum where it's not as mellow or
That's fine.
methodical. It's more like playing with chaos a little bit. And album is absolutely by Dijon.
Okay. I've been waiting to get into DJ.
Oh, Dijon. Okay.
Yes, let's fucking go. Yes.
You know what's funny? I heard that album when it first came out, and I didn't like it, but I do want to revisit it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so I'm excited to talk about this.
The ideal listening conditions?
If any.
Yeah, what is the order, doctor?
It's different. Like it's not an album where like one song to the next will sound like the same. So honestly, I play it on the train. I play it at the gym. I like to play it in my car. Some of the songs you can like sing along to. So really just vibe. Watch. There's a YouTube video. I don't want to get into it like before we get into the episode, but like there's a YouTube video of like them making the album. I think that's very cool.
Is that the album cover where he's like in the living room with a mic with a headset on?
That is it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. But I'm happy to deep dive in it because I didn't deep dive into it. So
I only heard his a little bit of the newer album because I just heard it. I just heard about him from he was on the Justin Bieber joint and he was on Bon Iver's joint, I believe.
Yeah. Him and
This year.
McGee, like they team up together.
Yeah.
A lot. He's one of my
So
favorite
heavy McGee influence in this one.
Yeah.
They actually recorded it together,
Dope.
and they wanted it to feel like you're just in somebody's living room, just
That's cool.
putting shit together. So yeah.
I was excited for Sabrina Carpenter. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for listening to us. Right. Don't just eat, savor, taste. Right. Like all of that good stuff. All right. All right, y'all. We see y'all next time.
Take care.
Deuce.